We are taking a look today at the brand new Hunter Pro from Jasion, and as you can see, I've got it folded up here in the back of my minivan. Folds up nice and convenient, and in comparison to, say, a full-size 26-inch bike, it takes up a lot less space. And that folding aspect is very convenient, and if I had to sum up this bike in one word, it would be convenient, because everything about this bike has been convenient so far, including assembly. Alright, it don't look like it here, but the sun is about to go down and I don't have much time to put this bike together. Hopefully I can get it put together before the sun does go down. This is a folding bike. Normally they're pretty easy to put together, so I am in a race here though, so let's get this thing done. It looks like it's packaged pretty well. A lot of foam. A lot of foam. That's a good thing, because most e-bikes come with at least some little scratch and ding because of how they're packaged, but this one looks pretty good. All right, this is a pretty cool little box here. We've got our Allen wrenches, our other wrenches, we got our pedals and our axle, and this is our charging cable right here. Okay, it says please keep the packing box for at least 30 days. That is in case you would need to return the e-bike for whatever reason, but it is a lot easier to unpack these things if you just cut the box down the edge, which I'm going to do because I'm dealing with a recovering shoulder, so I'm not going to lift this thing out of the box. I'm going to cut it. Be careful when you do this, because you don't want to like hit a tire or anything like that, but there is what it looks like inside the box before you get into it. Also, if you do this, you want to be careful not to catch your tire on any of these staples when you pull it out of the box. Ooh, it's brown. I've never seen a brown e-bike before. I like that. That's cool. It's not an obnoxiously long stem. That's kind of cool. I know I'm blowing through the assembly portion of this video pretty fast. It's because recording the assembly portion of a video is tedious and boring. But for anyone who is interested in a full assembly video for this bike, Jasion does have it on their YouTube channel. Alright, well here she is fully assembled. It took me about a half an hour and I did beat sunset, but just by the skin of my teeth. Nothing to do now but put some air in the tires and take her for a ride tomorrow and see how she does. Alright, so I went out on my first ride with this bike, and I only got up to about 20 miles per hour because the bike is not unlocked. I'm hoping I can get into the Jasion app here and unlock the bike. I've not even downloaded it yet, so I'm going to scan this. I have Android. I'm going to install Jasion Ride, and then we're going to go through the app and see what kind of things we can do with that. And by the way, the bike comes with a couple of these cards here. This is a quick start card showing you all of the controls. And on the other side here, you can scan this to check out instructional videos for putting the bike together. And this is a link to their social media community here. But yeah, we're more concerned with the app right now. All right, so I got to register. I'm going to do that real quick. All right, it looks like we're set up here with the app. So we got to add a bike, so I'm going to turn the bike on. Bike is on here. Add bike. Looks like it found it here. I'm going to link it, add it, and our bike is connected. So I've seen apps like this before. We can go in and set our pedal assist level. We can set it from 0 to 3, 1 to 3, 0 to 5, 1 to 5. 0 to 5 is the default, so that's what I'm going to stick with. Looks like we can turn the headlight on and off. Yep. We got map tracking here. We can go through account and security, set up all of our stuff like that. This is cool. We can go in and we can set what we want our maximum speed to be. So at level 1, this is done by percentage. So basically all I want to do is go into level 5 and crank this up to 100%. But over here in other settings, okay, here we go. User top speed. This is where we do it right here. So let's go back just so we know how to get there. From home, we go to personalize, and right here we can set our user top speed to 28 miles per hour. Then if we go here to our pedal assist levels, okay, now we can see all of this at the settings that we want it to set at. So for one, I want to set this to 10. This is just where I like it, but you can set it however you want. 10 for level 1, 15 for level 2, 20 for level 3, and I mean, I guess what I normally like to do is go 10, 15, 20, and then all out. But we've only got 21, then 28, so I'm going to go up to like 24. That's the midpoint between the two. So that's where I've got it set at, and that's what I want to do with it. I'm going to go up to pedal assist level. I'll go through all the different pedal assist levels now and test that out. On pedal assist level 1, I had it set at 10. Alright, so it's capping out at like 9.3. That's close enough for me. Level 2. 14.9. I had it set at 15. Good enough. Level 3. 20. So 19.9. Good enough. Level 4 should be 24, if I remember right. 23.1. And level 5 should take us up to 28. 28.1. Good enough for me. Alright, let's take a walk around to the bike now and see what we get. As you can see, this is a folding bike with 20 by 4 inch tires. This is our midpoint hinge here, and it looks to be built pretty tough. Another thing of note here is that this is pretty big. The backbone here is pretty big to accommodate the 15 amp hour battery. A lot of these folding bikes have like 10 and 12 amp hour batteries, so having a 15 amp hour battery in this is pretty good for a folding bike. I love this paint job. It's somewhere between like a chocolate brown and gold in color. It looks really nice in person. I don't think the video is doing it any justice here, but it looks awesome. Independent rear suspension. It doesn't appear to be adjustable. If I have to offer one point of criticism to this bike, it's that the key does load in from the bottom, and you do have to have the key in it and turned on to be able to power the bike on. I don't like bottom loader keys, but I understand the necessity for it because all of these bikes that have batteries that load in at the midpoint hinge point here have to have the keys load in from the bottom. It's just a necessary evil. As with most folding bikes, we do have a gooseneck folding stem here. The nice thing is that they put BMX bars on this so that they could take the gooseneck a little bit lower, so it's not as long as most gooseneck stems. We've got a spot up here to mount a basket should you so choose. We've got a suspension fork set. You can lock them out and there's some adjustment. As you can see here, it's kind of short on the travel, so this is definitely not an off-road bike, though you can take it off-road and do a little bit of minor off-roading like in this kind of stuff. Chow Yang 20 by 4 fat tires. We've got 180 millimeter disc brakes, and they are hydraulic brakes. And the brand on the brake is not listed up here, and I don't see a brand listed on the calipers either. I can tell you that they do ride pretty good, and it does have good braking power, so no complaints there. Standard e-bike headlight, and if you hold the plus button up here, it turns the light on. And we've also got a tail light in the back, which also doubles as a brake light. We've got rear turn signals, and it does not appear that they are self-canceling, so to cancel them, you just tap the turn signal again. Good looking heavy duty rear rack in the back here. It's not stamped with any kind of weight limit, but it's built pretty tough, and most of these are rated at 25 kilograms or like 56 pounds. So you should be able to haul quite a bit of weight on there, should you so choose. We've got our plastic folding pedals here, plastic fenders front and rear. Again, in the back, 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brake, 7-speed Shimano cassette, Shimano derailleur, and we've got a decent sized front sprocket, but I wouldn't expect to be pedaling this bike much. It's got a lot of power, so once you start getting into the throttle, it really has a lot of power for overriding that pedal system. I would say that if you want to get any exercise on this bike whatsoever, shut that motor off, because it's pretty powerful. It's a 48 volt 1000 watt motor, and I believe it's 1500 watts peak. Here is the seat, and they really nailed it with the seat. This thing is wide and comfortable, and that's the thing with e-bikes. You want a big, wide, comfortable seat, because most of the time when you get on one, you don't want to get off, and you're going to want to ride it all day. So giving us a big, wide, comfortable seat is always a plus. As you can see, I've got the seat set pretty high. I am 5'10" with a 30-inch inseam, and for me, that's the perfect height right there to get a good full pedal stroke. As I mentioned before, pedaling this bike is kind of an afterthought. So if you're going to ride this bike at the higher speeds, like its top speed of around 28 miles per hour, you're probably going to want to set the seat a little bit lower, just so you've got that lower center of gravity. But for like casual riding, that's where I've got the seat set for my height, which as I mentioned, is 5'10". This bike will probably accommodate up to a 6'2" rider with minimal complaints. Any taller than that, they're going to start to get a bit cramped. And with the seat all the way down, my 4'11" kid was able to set on this bike with no problems. Here's our midpoint folding mechanism. This is a lock. You slide this forward and then pop that out. Then you're able to fold the hinge there. And the same with the handlebars. You pull this lock up, flip that down, and then you're able to fold the handlebars down. All right, let's take it for a ride and see what she's got. I'm starting off in pedal assist level 3 here, going through this wooded area with a lot of sticks. I normally wait to do the off-road test, but hey, this is where I'm at, so let's do it. Bike handles great. That midpoint suspension is really doing a great job of soaking up all the bumps and dips. And yeah, this is just an overall joy to ride. Now, I would say this bike is not really made for any serious off-roading, but for stuff like this, it's doing just fine. The handling is great on this bike, considering that it's a folding bike and it does have kind of a higher center of gravity, but aside from that, it handles fantastically. It's got a pretty short wheelbase, so it does kind of turn on a dime. And I have absolutely no complaints with how this bike handles. The suspension on this bike is nice. It's soft but not squishy. It's firm but not hard. It's really kind of just that perfect sweet spot for being a comfortable ride for this kind of off-roading, though I wouldn't take it on anything really much harsher than this. Maybe some gravel, but that's about it. Let's do a little gravel riding here, because gravel riding is fun. Though I don't think I need to be up in pedal assist level 5 for this. I was getting ready to say that this bike is going to be great for like a traveling vacationeer's bike, but honestly, this bike is just a great all-rounder. It's doing gravel really well and off-road really well, though I want to reiterate, it's not really made for off-roading, but it does a good job with it. It's got some decent speed, though not a speed demon. It's comfortable, it handles nice. Overall, just a lot of fun to ride. Though where I would say that this bike is going to excel is its portability factor, and it just does an awesome job of being able to take it along with you and explore while you're on vacation. Alright, this is not an off-road bike, but just for a quick little suspension test, I am going to take it across the railroad tracks. Here we go. And it's It's not the worst thing ever, but I don't want to do this for any longer than I have to. It's making it. Oh, pedal bottomed out. That's one thing to keep in mind with a 20-inch bike like this. We're on the paved trails now, and this is what this bike is built for, really. This is a pretty casual rider. It's got some power, don't get me wrong. It is set up for being a legal Class 3. I say legal Class 3 bike. It stays at legal Class 3 speed, so you shouldn't get into any trouble on this bike. It's got a top speed of 28 miles per hour, though the motor does exceed that 750 watt maximum output for Class 3. It's a 1,000 watt nominal and 1,500 watt peak, so it'll get you up to that 28 miles per hour pretty fast. When we get up here to a straightaway, I'll go through all the different pedal assist levels, and we'll see exactly what it's got. So I couldn't get to the controller easily, so I don't know what the actual controller output is. Now, supposedly this bike has a 1,500 watt peak motor, but whether we can hit that 1,500 watt peak is determined by the controller and the battery voltage. And I've got the throttle set up to override the pedal assist levels, so we're going up a hill now. I'm going to take off under throttle, and I've got the wattage output here. We're going to see what's the highest that gets to. It looks like we hit just under 1,300 watts, and there is a little bit of voltage sag since I've been riding this, so I'm going to guess that this is like a 28 amp controller. That's my best guess. Don't hold me to that. Alright, I got a good open stretch of road here, so let's do a speed, acceleration, and speedometer accuracy test. It is a little bit windy, so that might have a little bit of an effect on the top speed, but I don't expect it's going to affect it much. And I weigh 200 pounds, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go down into pedal assist level 1 and take off pedaling. And it takes about 2 cranks of the pedal for the pedal assist to kick in. I'm just doing a casual pedal now, and it's doing about 10 miles per hour, and that's what I had it set at in the app. Pedal assist level 2. It should cap out at about 15 for us now. And it would go faster if I use throttle. I've got the throttle set to override, but we do have our cap out in pedal assist level 2 at about 14.5 miles per hour. Level 3. Level 3 kicks in harder than level 1 and 2 did for sure. And I got a headwind. Looks like level 3 is capping out at just over 18 miles per hour. I had it set in 20 in the app, and like I said, I weigh 200 pounds. Level 4 should cap out at about 24. And it looks like I'm hitting about 21 on the speedometer. And level 5. Yeah, the difference between level 4 and level 5 is considerable. Level 5 takes us all the way up to 28. Let's do a brake test. Very adequate brakes. All right, now I'm going to do a throttle-only acceleration test. Here we go. This is me not pedaling to help the bike out at all. And I'm just taking off in pedal assist level 5, throttle only, and we're going to see how long it takes us to get up to top speed. Got a hell of a crosswind hitting me. And there we are. It capped out at 28.1 miles per hour. Yeah, those brakes are really good. Let's do a minor hill climb test. Here we go. This one's going to be throttle only, pedal assist level 5. I'm certain it's going to tear right up this hill, no problem. This is probably about a 7% grade if I had to guess. no problems at all. We're going to do a couple monster hill climb tests. This first one is a sustained climb. It gets pretty steep and gradual, so we're going to start off. I'm going to go up into pedal assist level 5. I'm using throttle only, so it's on pedal assist override anyway. But this is a pretty steep climb and pretty long climb, and it's going right up this hill, no problems whatsoever. All right, now I'm going to head over to Monster Hill. That's what I've named it because it's a real monster for e-bikes to climb. A lot of e-bikes can't make it up this hill, so we're going to see how this one does. All right, this is what I call Monster Hill. This is the hill that a lot of e-bikes have a lot of trouble climbing up, so I'm going to go right to the base of it and do a takeoff in pedal assist level 5 throttle only, and we're going to see how she does. Oh, it's struggling. I had to give it one pedal crank, but that helped it make it up. We're going to do that again. One more time. Give it another run. This time I'm going to pedal right from the get-go. Actually, this time I'm going to get a little bit of a roll off. All right, this is about a 10-foot roll off, throttle only. Here we go. With that little extra momentum, it is definitely making it up a lot easier. And one more time, we're going to go with a roll off and with me pedaling in third gear. Yeah, this time it tore right up, no problem. So it definitely struggles a little bit under throttle only, but with minimal effort from the rider, you can make it right up this hill. I'm going to go up this hill over here, see how that does, just for the fun of doing it. Whee! All right, my final thoughts on the Hunter Pro from Jasion. This bike is, I think, plenty fast enough for most people, capping out at 28 miles per hour. It's definitely not a speed demon, but I wouldn't call it slow either. With that 1500 watt peak motor, it's definitely got some powerful takeoff, and it's just a lot of fun to ride. With the independent suspension and the wide seat, it's really comfortable to ride, and I think the bike just looks great. You've also got the foldability for the portability factor, and it's overall just a lot of fun to ride. As I mentioned before, I was going to say that this would be the perfect bike for a vacationeer, someone who travels a lot and wants to pack an e-bike to take along with them, but that's not necessarily true because it's just a lot more than that. This bike is an overall great all-rounder. It does a little bit of everything, and it does a lot of those things very well. It is one of my favorite folding bikes that I've ever ridden, if not my absolute favorite folding bike that I've ever ridden. The only real criticism that I have of this bike is that the key loads in from the bottom. I wish it were different, but I understand from an engineering standpoint why it's done that way. All of the bikes that have the batteries inside the frame on a folding style bike all do it that way. It's just the only place they could fit it. Another thing that I encountered with this bike, when I first got it, for about the first 2 or 3 miles, the back brake was really squeaky, but after the brake bedded in, that problem went away. It's just something that everyone should expect with new brakes on a bike. They might be a little bit squeaky at first. But if you listen to it now, we got no squeaks on either of the brakes. Really, it's an overall great bike that gets my highest marks. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. But be sure to stick around till the end of the video so you can see the results of the range test. Alright guys, I screwed up. Due to an administrative error, I messed up my recording of the initial range test. I can tell you in my initial test I got about 26 miles out of the battery on a full charge. That is doing speed tests and hill climbs and running it hard. But like I said, I screwed up the footage, and I don't expect anybody to take my word for it, so I'm going to do a brand new range test here, so you guys are stuck with me a little bit longer in this video. I've got the trip set to 0 right here. I'm going to ride the bike in pedal assist level 3 down this trail over here, which is mostly flat, and I'm going to be pedaling along with it, but I'm not going to be putting a whole lot of effort into it. So we're going to see how far we can go on a full battery charge at pedal assist level 3, me being a 200-pound rider, and that should put us at about 20 miles per hour for the entire range test. So I'll check in here in a little bit, see where we're at, and then I will check in at the end to let you know exactly how far we've gone. Alright, for a range test check-in, we just ticked 14.5 miles and the battery meter just dropped 1 bar. One thing that I've learned about e-bike battery meters is that you can't always trust that. They will hang out at 100% for like 5 ever, and then when they start dropping fast. So we're probably at about half battery life now. I know that on my other range test that I kind of borked up the video on, so I don't have any proof of that. I rode the bike hard and I went like 26 miles, almost 26 miles riding the bike hard, pretty much full throttle, with hill tests and speed and almost no pedaling, pretty much doing all throttle only. So I got 26 miles out of that test. I should get a little bit more out of this one because I'm on mostly flat ground and I am pedaling and I'm running in pedal assist level 3 this entire time. But like I said, once that battery starts dropping, that's when you really want to start paying attention to how far you have to go. Alright, we are just over 21 miles on our trip here, and the battery meter just dropped to 3 bars, and I'm hitting one heck of a headwind here. I'm gonna look at our voltage. We're at 47.2 volts. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'll put the percentage of what that really is on the screen here, but it's teetering between 47.2 and 47.3. Again, I weigh 200 pounds. I've been pedaling this entire time, pedal assist level 3, and maintaining mostly around 18 miles per hour. But once this headwind hit me, that dropped pretty fast. I'm getting like 14, 15 miles per hour now. All right, 24.7 miles, just dropped to 2 bars on the battery meter, and that is 46.4, 46.5 volts. All right, I'm at 47.2 volts, and that's climbing because I stopped, but it's teetering in between 47.2 and 47.1. I'm at 30% on the battery meter, and I believe 47 is about 45%. I went 26.4 miles, and that was riding somewhat conservatively in pedal assist level 3, me pedaling along the entire time. Now on my first battery test that I don't have the footage for, I rode the bike hard and I ran out just under 26.4. So we've got about 30 to 40%. It says up to 45% left, but I would say that, you know, this battery meter is actually pretty accurate. So that's it for the range test. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.